The deed is done. I can finally return to this channel because I have done what I said I was going to do. Not that. We will get to that. One thing at a time. I trained my own AI model. Yay! How long has it been? I'm making my own AI. I'm making an orb, my own Palantir. I was hoping to share it by the end of this video, but it takes a long time, so. I feel like those bears coming out of hibernation. What happened? But the deed is done, and I ran the benchmarks. Official AI benchmark, and my model outperforms DeepSeek 2.5, way bigger model than mine. Facebook's flagship model, Llama 4 Maverick, destroyed. And most importantly of all, my model outperforms ChatGPT's 4. In like November or something, that was... This sounds like impressive, but it's way less impressive once we get into it, and we will get into it. It also sounds way less impressive considering the fact that I almost burned down my house twice for this project. It also sounds way less impressive. I lost my sanity. Now, I have not created my own AI. I have merely taken an AI model and trained it. It's like stealing a child on the street instead of birthing one myself. It's way more effective that way. Plus, it would cost millions and millions of dollars in infrastructure, which I do not have yet. Am I talking about birthing or... But it's important for you to understand just how naive I was going into this, because I knew nothing about machine learning, training AI, and coding. Did I mention my model is a coding model? I can make a coding model. Sure, Felix. Great idea. But I also know I wasn't that crazy going into this, and I'll explain why. But mainly the fact that I wanted to do this was because I wanted to learn. The reason I'm here with this video and the series of events has just been me approaching this philosophy of just, yes, this might be difficult, but I will learn from it. Step by step, you know, that takes you places. And that's why I'm so excited to announce today's sponsor, which is boot.dev. Boot.dev is a website that teaches you how to code, but for real. I did their Linux course and it's fantastic. When you actually understand how something works, it changes things for real. It's none of this Duolingo, bada-ba-bing, fake learning, okay? It's fun, it's engaging, and it works. I'm super excited to do their other courses as well. Create your own AI agent in Python course. I'm gonna say something that makes me sound like such a boomer dad, but I am at this point, so to heck with it. Instead of focusing on gaming too much lately, I've just been focusing on leveling up myself. But it's true. It's such an amazing feeling. And I want you guys to experience it as well. And I think boot.dev is an amazing venture to do so. So check it out in the description, and I will remind you later as well, okay? Now, funny enough, to train my model, AI model, ironically, it works very similar to how you would train on yourself on boot.dev. There's an instruction of a problem, you get a framework on how to initiate or what to use, and then there's a validated answer at the end of it. Basically, I gathered around 100,000 samples like that, and then you feed that to the model, which slightly nudges its parameters, like it slightly probably nudges your brain. And bada bing, bada boom, you have trained your model. It's kind of like this. Your AI, look at this. Are you learning? Are you getting this? You will look at these, you will look at 100,000 more. Pay attention. This might take a while. The model that I used was Qwen 32B, which is already amazing at coding, but I needed it to be amazing at coding in this format. The whole reason I decided to do this and where I landed, because I discovered something. There are many ways to benchmark and test your model. I discovered there's one called Aider Polyglot. If you remember last video, I used the agent Aider to code my own web UI. This is a respectable benchmark that tests coding in 6 different languages. That's 6 more languages than I know. But what was interesting about this is that state-of-the-art models like ChatGPT perform like garbage on this benchmark. 18.2%? What? My model that I was planning to train on performs 8%. Trash.
but it performs 16% if you use a different format called whole format instead of diff format. Basically, there's two different formats, but one of them is important. How do I explain this?
It's basically like this. You draw a picture, okay? Imagine you draw a picture and you want to add a cloud. But instead of just adding the fucking cloud, you redraw the entire picture with the cloud. It makes no fucking sense. But basically, a lot of these models, they struggle to understand the format of just editing in the code instead of just writing the whole thing. It's just stupid. It wastes compute and it wastes time, and I never used it as well. So I thought, hey, if I can just fix the format, I will make my model 16%, and that will almost beat ChatGPT. The goal, beat ChatGPT. Easy! Because what I had on my side, at my disposal, my arsenal, was Chinese AI research. You'd think China would be on the more censorship side of things. At least that's what I thought. How wrong I was. It's completely the opposite. DeepSeek Chinese AI basically just released their model for anyone to run, and a whole document with their entire training process in great detail. It's amazing. There's so much information from these research documents combined with the open source community. There's so much to try, and it just makes you really want to try it yourself. At least that's how I saw it, even though a lot of it was super advanced and I didn't understand anything. Eventually I did, I think. It's also hilarious reading these documents. Chinese AI researchers are unironically comedians because they write the most unhinged shit. They say shit like, oh, we trained our model on 2048 GPUs. And you're like, what? That's like $60 million. And then you keep reading and they're like, we emphasize this is an economical approach. I'm like, economical? What's the non-economical version? But I think that kind of puts things in perspective and why a lot of companies in the West, they don't want to share information. So with Chinese AI research on my side and a boot dev course, I was ready to do this thing. Now, what do you need to train AI? Data. Now, how do you get data without sacrificing your soul in the process? Well, there is options, believe it or not. You can mine the stack, which is this 60 terabyte data set that you're allowed to train on. Good thing I kept my hard drives around. You can use publicly available data sets. You can also mine Git, which is a little more of a gray zone because you have to check for licenses, which I'm sure everyone is doing, right? These big tech companies, they're being super ethical and great about it, I'm sure. That's why they're not sharing any information. And you can also synthesize your data. Glorious synthetic data. Tastes so good. I tried every single method there is. It's been a mess.
This is scraping Git for enriching my data. This is scraping for more data. This is running testing on the data. And this is augmenting the data. And this is my 8 LLMs. This is the level we reached.
This project was kind of like, I was like in the middle of a freeway and there's a bunch of cars that I have to direct constantly because shit had to move for this to finish. Everything took so much time and my GPUs had to constantly be cooking. And I had to do all this makeup, cosmetic surgery to the data because all these developers writing poor, lazy... First of all, why do you even publish some of that? Lazy instructions. Don't make a commit if you're just gonna add a comment. But finally, I had my data, but I still knew I needed more. And I also wanted to try out synthetic generation of data, which is basically, you typically take the strongest model that you have and you ask it, hey, look at this, make more in this format. And my God, it was a beautiful thing. You get the perfect data, exactly the way you want it. It's amazing. But the problem is, and maybe you already know this, AI is wrong all the fucking time. Okay, it's basically like this. I tell AI... My drawing skills have really... I'm sure glad I learned how to draw. I tell AI, make a burger by showing him a burger. And then AI makes what looks like a burger, but I open the lid and he put razor blades in there. So my harness is a burger eater to check that if the real burgers are made instead of fake burgers. I think I explained that pretty well. You lied to me! My synthetic approach, I know that most people don't care. I use OSS Instruct from Magic Coder and Evol Instruct, which is an amazing method. It's basically like that cloning dancing guy technique. You feed a code snippet and then you say, hey, make it into this format, and also make it do another one, but make it more advanced. I don't want to get into it. This technical, it doesn't matter. This video will take forever. But the problem I had was I was not getting enough of it. And I don't trust, okay? I don't trust like that, okay? So I validated it. I kept thinking the problem was my test harness. So I needed to fix that. What an idiot! That just made it so I passed more garbage. So when the time came for me to finally train my model, after months, I was so excited. I ran the benchmark and I had made an AI model that finally, that was worse. I had made it worse. I probably should have quit then. But I am way too stubborn for that. I just can't. I don't have it in me. I can't do it. This is when you realize AI is kind of like magic, right? But it also isn't. Garbage data in, garbage data out. There was a lot of issues with my data. When I had fixed my harness, I had just let more garbage data pass through. There was also all these other issues like empty white spaces and classic coding issues that I just wasn't aware about. So that's why I had made it worse. But I gave it another attempt. And this time, no more mistakes. No more dilly-daddling. Lock in. Again, the model is worse. It was my harness yet again. I don't know why I got so stuck on this fucking thing. Well, I didn't even need synthetic data. I just wanted it to work. I just wanted it to work so bad. Finally, I had fixed the fucking thing and the benchmark came in 16%. Sometimes 15, sometimes 14, but 16 was the highest. The model is just not going to solve the same problem every time. It just doesn't work like that. There is a level of randomness to it, to the benchmark performance. But 16 was the ceiling, and that makes sense because that was the ceiling in the official whole format or whatever. And I had fixed it so it's in the diff format, but I had not made a fucking difference. I had not made the model smarter. And remember, I need to beat 18% to say that I beat ChatGPT. Otherwise, this means nothing. So, my plan of attack was to add reasoning to my data. Adding reasoning to your data is basically making it write out some thinking before it solves the problem. Instead of doing 2 plus 2 in your head, you go, oh, okay, so let me break this down. So I'll have 2 apples, and then if I add 2 more apples, and then I count them all together, then I will have 4. This is really effective for complicated issues to break down the problem into parts, and it really can improve the performance of the AI. But when it's simple questions and it still does it, it can be very, very irritating as well. You've probably seen this actually if you use a stronger AI model. A lot of times you ask it questions and it goes, oh, absolutely. Well, let's break this down into parts. First, we're gonna, and you're like, that was a simple yes or no question. What do you mean? But it's a really effective way to make your model solve problems more accurately. And a lot of these smaller open source models that I train on struggle with this because they just haven't been trained on it enough. So that was my plan of attack to make my model smarter. And I found a study that showed that 10% in performance. I'm like, 10%? That's way more than I need, baby. Let's just clone this Git repo and get going. The only problem was, of course, that the ungodly level of computation that was needed for this. And that's when things were starting to smell funny. I realized my room had this weird aura to it all of a sudden. Hey, I swear it didn't used to smell like that. So I decided to reboot my computer and lightning strikes all across it. Smoke starts pouring out. My whole life flashed before my eyes. I turn off the computer, but the damage was done. One of my GPUs had died. Rest in peace. I tested each one by one, and it seemed like everything else was okay. It was just this one problem. And looking at my purchase history, that one GPU came from a different factory. You have to understand what a hack job this setup that I have is, okay? It's bifurcated, it's undervolted to death. This GPU is run on 450 watt, I run it on 175 watt. Just so my house wouldn't fucking crash every time. And then these are hacked Chinese 4090 GPUs. This whole thing is held together by prayers. Literally. In Japan, they sell these prayer-infused IT badges. Where is it? It's in front of my computer. An official Japanese priest. I probably have now blessed my computer and I was ready to give it another shot. Only for the smell to appear again. After sniffing my GPUs like a maniac, I concluded my GPUs was not the problem this time. And eventually, I found it. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Again, I was using a cable that was graded for 1,500 watt. I was running over 2,000. Changed cable, we were good to go. My computer kept crashing still.
Oh, it's still... thought it crashed. It has crashed. Oh, fuck. What a pile of...
You'd think training would be just this straightforward thing, but it's really not. It's taking too long to train. I need more compute, okay? What am I gonna do? It's not my fault. I know what you're thinking. Felix, are you building another computer? No, I am just extending the one I have. Of course. Of course, I'm an epic minimalist. I had to steal the circuit from my bathroom and I drilled the hole. It's super heavy on your computer, and every time it crashes, I have to fucking defibrillate it back, bring it back from a coma. It's not pleasant. With everything that had happened in the past, extremely stressful, and I really started doubting what the fuck I'm doing here for these 2%. I started calling upon DeepSeek API because it's practically for free, and eventually I had 15,000 samples, which is way less than I had aimed for, but these were the top of the top, the creme de la creme samples that I have with the most beautifully crafted step-by-step reasoning the world has ever seen. I did my supervised fine-tuning, 3 epochs, and I ran the benchmark, and it scored 17. Are you fucking kidding me? But as I mentioned, the performance is kind of random. So I kept running the benchmark. I had eventually given up, but I had done one more just for the fuck of it. And I noticed, holy shit, this one is having like a god run. It's at 40%. What is happening? It drops to 30. I'm like, hold, please hold. It drops to 25. It drops to 20. And it finally finishes all the exercises in the benchmark. It is done at 19.6%. I have beat ChatGPT! It felt so goddamn good. Stop! Stop! Don't listen to this guy. The benchmark is invalid. I did not check for contamination before the benchmark. Basically, if you grab data all across the internet, there's a high chance that you're gonna grab data that might already exist in a benchmark somewhere. So you have to check for contamination. I didn't check for contamination. I didn't want to check for contamination. But my stupid conscience was like, oh, I should probably do it. I was backing up, going through my data for the gazillionth time, and I realized there was some contamination. It's not a huge deal, but it's like, if I just am honest, whatever, to me it's not good enough. And I want to clear out my data, and I'm gonna retrain again, benchmark again, and I'm hoping, and I think it will still give me the same result because it's such small contamination. I'm kind of worried because I'm running out of time. Have I done fuck all this entire time? Have I achieved nothing this entire time and the whole thing was a hocus pocus? That's what I thought. So this time I went all out. I trained on my entire data set. Previously, I trained on a small subset of what I thought was my best data because it takes forever to train. It takes forever. It takes days, weeks. And since I reached the score of 19.6, I was like, I'm done. But not... Then I made another discovery. I was training on the wrong model. A major update. I'm watching my video. This guy. I'm giving feedback to my editor. And I'm like, hold on. What is that? That is not the coder version. That's the regular version. Have I been training on the wrong version this entire time? Oh. Ah! So maybe this has all been a blessing in disguise, because I feel like with these two things in mind, I should beat ChatGPT. I should, but we will know in a couple days. Did I beat ChatGPT? Well, I trained on the coding model, and the first score 4.4%. Ah! I don't know what the fuck happened. I can probably think of 5 things, but I don't care to figure it all out. It's gonna take forever. I just retrained again. And the model score, 25%, baby. I have not just beat ChatGPT, I beat ChatGPT twice. Their August shitty version as well. I was so relieved. I was like, thank God. But I made another discovery. It's not over. A third of the benchmark was not even running. C++ and JavaScript just wasn't being tested properly. So I fixed the benchmark, I run it again, and the final score, 36%, baby. This means I also beat Google Schmoogle's thing as well. And I think I beat 4.1 or something. I don't know, ChatGPT. It's a massacre out here. You're being destroyed. It's embarrassing. OpenAI stock just demolished. Just quit already. This is what pops the AI bubble. But I was like, there are still issues. I'm gonna do some post-training. 1,500 samples, splinky blinky, 5 epochs. And I ran the benchmark again. Pure decontaminated, let it be known. Purer than the fountain of youth. 39.1%, baby. Another I think this one I beat Google Schmoogle. Where's the stupid benchmark? Yeah, Gemini Pro. You guys pay for that? I did not think this would even ever come close. But here's the embarrassing part about all of this. I train on Qwen 2.5, but Qwen 3 is out, and it scores 40%. So unless I beat 40%, this means nothing. And I'm out of time. I don't have fucking time. I need to send this video to my editor. Yes, there was one more thing. A model being good at one benchmark is stupid as fuck, okay? I need to test this model on other benchmarks as well. I want to test it on SweBench, all these other coding benchmarks. Unless it improving that, I don't even know. I am just out of time, okay? I don't have time to do it, but I will. And if this model ever gets to a point where I feel like it's good enough, I would love to share it. But I think if anything, I might just move on to a different project in the background because it takes a long time and I'm kind of tired. That being said, you've seen me fail a lot in this video. I have become so accustomed to failure, you have no idea. I've almost given up on this project so many times. There are so many times where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is the stupidest thing ever. I have graveyards full of just garbage, debunkle, schmunkle, deformed data that I have generated thinking, this is the best. I have gone through the whole alphabet of failures. I was just so way in over my head on this project. But I think the number one thing I've learned, how do I explain this? When you install Linux, here's what happens. Linus Torvalds, the creator, becomes your godfather, inevitably. And I was watching one of a random video of him talking, and he was talking about how he's doing this project, and he was failing, but that's okay, because that's how you learn.
Some people think that failure is a bad thing, and I happen to be one of those people who actually enjoy doing things I'm not good at, because it's how you learn.
And I'm watching that, and I'm like, he's speaking to me right now. Oh my God. But I really feel like that's the main thing I've learned from all this, because there's so much to learn from failure. Learn from it and reiterate and keep working. I think if you have expectations of how things should go for yourself, you're just gonna get disappointed and you're gonna wanna give up. So expect to fail, embrace failing. That's the message I wanna send out to you kids. Last thing, this is a coding model, and I think a lot of people are looking at coding models like, are they gonna replace? And I saw Linus say this as well, and it was basically saying coding models, if anything, it will just bring in more people interested in learning how to code. Again, he's speaking to me right now. Like, I would never have wanting to learn how to code if it wasn't for AI coming into the picture. So on the final note, learn something new, check out boot.dev. I highly recommend it. It's a great course. Pick out whatever you want. Challenge yourself into something difficult that may be above what you think you're capable of. That's it. Now scram. I'm just kidding, brothers. This month we're traveling a lot, and what always happens whenever we travel, the inevitable connecting to public Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi? It's a trap.
Get the reference? If you connect to someone else's Wi-Fi, you might as well just give up your credit card and banking information and all your information they'd ever have. You should always use a VPN. NordVPN. Say it with me. Nord, Smord, Smörgås, board. Connect always. I'm even connected right now. I made a little module for me. Look. Because whatever I do online, if I want to download, it's my goddamn business. It's my... it's my goddamn right. So thank you, NordVPN, for making it possible to free yourself, protect yourself online. If you go to nordvpn.com/PewDiePie, you get a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus a bonus extra 4 months for free. New Year's resolution, take your online privacy seriously. This is the best deal for NordVPN you're gonna find, so take advantage. Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring this video. That's nordvpn.com/PewDiePie.